According to Fox News, Haiti is named the poorest country in the world, with a poverty rate of 77%. With Haiti's population of 10 million, half of these Haitians make only $1 a day, and the other half only make $2 a day, and this is what they have to live on. Although this is not a place that most people would desire to go, I had the wonderful opportunity of experiencing this country firsthand. February 2012, I got to go. This was an amazing experience that not everyone gets to see, most people get to see in their life. This changed my worldview and allowed me to see other people's perspectives and cultures, which was really interesting. And I also got to experience the universal language of love, although this was hard because I didn't understand the language. I did understand how they reacted with each other and interacted with each other. I saw this interaction the second I stepped into the villages, and this is when all the kids came running at us when we first got there, and we had no idea anything that they said or what they wanted to say to us, but we did understand that they just wanted to be held and touched and played with. And when we got to these villages, it was quite shocking because there were many children that were only half clothed or barefoot, and they didn't have a home and they didn't have a family. And many of them just lived on their own, and they were anywhere from 4 to 12, and they just didn't have a family. And some of them lost family members to the earthquake that happened recently before this. And one of my favorite memories of the village was having all these girls, about 15 girls, come running at me, and I had really long hair at the time, and they were all braiding my hair at the same time, and they all wanted to, they all just were jumping on my lap, and they all were fighting over who got to braid, but it was a really fun experience, and it's something that I'll never forget. Another thing that I saw in the village that I'll never forget was the head of a Barbie doll, and it was just something that really stuck with me because it was something that I've never seen before, and when I was a kid, I always complained if I didn't have a certain doll or a certain dress or whatever, and all they had to play with was the head of an old Barbie doll, so that was something that always stuck with me. And even having that, they cared more about being with you and hugging you than even some old toy. While the girls were interacting with each other, the boys got to play soccer with the other boys, and this just showed that no technology, no fancy materialism kept them happy. They were just happy with their floor, their dirt, and their ball, and that was fine with them. In Haiti, since this was a medical missions trip, we also got to diagnose patients. This was a very interesting experience for me because I've never experienced the medical field before, so I wasn't really familiar with it, but I got to learn to work with a translator, which was really cool because I directly got to speak to the translator, and it was a really cool communication that happened between 3 people that spoke different languages, and so this expanded my knowledge on their language a little bit, and I got to pick up some of the stuff that they said. And when we went into the market, we got to see firsthand how the Haitians make their living, which is, as you know, very small. I purchased a painting there, and that's one way they make their living. They also make jewelry. They hand make it out of coffee beans, and they paint them. And then they also weave baskets too, and they sell them on the streets. And the way that you purchase these, they love American money, so they will even take $1 from you, and they think it's very rare to them and a lot better than the money that they have. And I wasn't actually very good at this at first, and I offered them too much money in the beginning, and which they were obviously very happy about. But once I learned the system of the bargaining, it was really fun, and it was a really great experience for me. The most lasting memory I have is when I went into the tent city, and this is where the people lived who had lost their homes to the earthquake. So they literally lived in a tarp held up by wood sticks, and once you experience this yourself, it's like nothing you'll ever experience in your life. And I just remember I saw a mom with her 2 young children. The one had severe burns all over his body. And it was a really hard thing for me to see because I'd never seen anyone live like that in a very small space, probably smaller than most of your kitchens. And the mom had to raise her family on her own. And all they had was their tarp, a dirt floor, a little cot, and a bucket of water. And that's how they lived every day of their life. So just to see that firsthand was really hard for me, and I had to leave because I was very emotional about it, and it was just like, it really made me think that how much I take for granted everything that I have. In conclusion, Haiti will always have a special place in my heart. It forever changed my worldview and allowed me to think twice about taking the things that I have for granted, especially my family, not only just material possessions. I learned that love is the biggest universal language, and that no matter where you go, just to be there for someone and show them that you love them will always stay with them. And the Haitians taught me that people are the most precious earthly gift that you can have, and that we should never take these relationships for granted.